Is ageism a real thing? And if it is, what do we do about it? Is there anything we can do about it? My name is Amy Palmer. I am your GenX big sister, and I talk about all things having to do with pretirement, which is the last 10 to 15 years before we reach official retirement age, and talking about how do we design a life that works for us and still brings us joy and still brings us fulfillment and still brings in an income because we are not ready yet to retire. Ageism. So this topic has come up a lot since I've started talking about pretirement because I've been encouraging Gen X women to take a pause. I've been encouraging you to rest, to get clear on what you need, and to get clear on what you want and what's in alignment for you and what kind of life you want to live now and where your priorities are. We have been conditioned to hustle and grind and earn every single penny that we get. And as a result, occasionally we earn a little rest in there too. Just looking at a video from a couple of days ago where we were sort of reminiscing about our childhood jobs, how old we were when we got our first paying job and what it was. And the comments are flowing. Again, I am hearing your stories about starting as young as 5 years old. One of you started helping on your farm at the age of 5. Lots of stories about being 9 years old and babysitting multiple children, and it continuing, similar to my story, just continuing with job after job through your whole life. And I have been encouraging you to feel free to step off the hamster wheel. Feel free to dial it down. And I've been accused, not by too many people, but occasionally I'm getting accused of reinforcing ageist ideas and ageist views and discrimination. I know that there are many of you that you may be seeking a job right now, and you're seeking an opportunity and you're having a hard time. And you know, sometimes with concrete proof and sometimes just as a gut instinct, you know that your age is playing a part into it and it's becoming harder to find a new opportunity. So I get that that is a reality that is happening for many of us. The fact that I am encouraging Gen X women to prioritize themselves and yourself, prioritize yourself, your well-being, your health, your mindset, the fact that that in any way excuses, condones, reinforces, accepts ageist ideals is ridiculous. It is ridiculous. If a Gen X woman is applying for a role, and if a Gen X woman gets that role, she will work her ass off doing that job. And you'll see evidence of that in the comments on many of my videos. And she will overachieve, overaccomplish. Here's the thing. She's been doing this so well for so long. She has honed her craft. She has honed her skills. The experience that she brings to the table and the results that she has achieved have been so mastered that she no longer needs to give 150% in order for the company to get way more than their money's worth from an investment in her. That is a long, flowery way to say that I'm sorry, but having somebody on your team that's over 45, over 50 is way valuable, no matter what their priorities are, even if they are looking at achieving work-life balance and looking at other joys in their life and taking care of their family, etc. They will still perform and perform well. What I'm suggesting is that they do it in a way that it doesn't burn them out. And because if you so let's work this through. So you're a hiring manager. You've got a candidate in front of you that's over 45 that has tons of fabulous experience and has been able to market themselves to you appropriately, so you know that it's a good fit, but you're hesitant because you're afraid that she's in pretirement, and so she's not going to give it her all. I'm telling you that she's still going to give 120%. And she's going to do a fabulous job, and she's going to approach it in a way that she doesn't get bored or burnt out or, whatever the case may be. She's already vetted you to decide that this is where she wants to be. She's going to make it work, and she's going to make it work in the healthiest way possible. That's what Pretirement is about, is to approach it healthfully and to be able to still have joy in your life, to be able to still do the things you want to do and still being able to earn a fabulous income as well. As opposed to if you're the hiring manager and you go for a younger person who has great skills, great abilities, but you're thinking, well, at least they're going to prioritize. They're still ambitious. They still want to climb the ladder. They still want to prove themselves. Yes and no. I mean, the priorities of the younger generations have shifted based on what they have witnessed from the older generations. They have learned from our mistakes. So yes, they might do a great job, but guess what happens when they start to get a sign of burnout? Guess what happens? They are going to jump to the next job. They are not going to stay with you. You have a better chance of having that older person hang in there and make it work and overperform than the young up and coming ambitious one. So again, I'm generalizing, and I'm not trying to go into reverse ageism. That's not what I'm trying to do. I don't want to discriminate against younger people either, because they bring amazing things to the table. I'm saying that it's all BS. It's all about skills and cultural match, and who they are as their character, and if they can approach the role and the expectations in the most healthy way possible, most healthy way possible, then it's going to be a win-win-win for you as hiring manager, the company, and the team member, the employee. So I wish I could explain to all the hiring managers out there how much they're missing out on top performers, and that if they want things turned around, they want things, fixed and taken care of, that you go with who has that track record and who has those proven results. Now, you as an applicant, I wasn't going to get in detail around how to counteract ageism in the hiring process as an applicant. I would definitely want to put more thought into that, because there are ways. I've never really worried about it that much. I've known that ageism exists. I also know that there are way too many examples. Anytime you're looking at a group that is oppressed and discriminated against in some manner, you will see stellar examples in each of those groups of people who rise to the top regardless of the challenges and the hurdles and the disadvantages against them. So take a look at those. Take a look at who has overcome those hurdles before, and what can I do to replicate that? It's all about how you present yourself, how you present your skills, It's about staying fresh with your skills. And yes, that means staying on top of technology. It means staying on top of how all the generations communicate, what's important to them. It's like keeping your finger on the pulse of what's going on. Don't stay with blinders on in your own little lane. Keep yourself fresh. In an earlier video, I had talked about the fact that one of the things that we need to do in pretirement not only is to learn new platforms and stay on top of technology, including AI. And I had one person, I think it was just one person, who questioned that, saying, why? I'm trying to get offline, I'm trying to get off the grid. And I get that. The reason why we want to stay in touch with it is, especially if you're trying to keep up professionally, so you want to remain a viable candidate professionally if you are looking for a job, but also the way you navigate the rest of your life as you get older, the way you navigate taking care of your taxes, the way you navigate your health care. If you don't know how things are evolving in those manners, technology manner, it's going to be more and more difficult for you to manage that for yourself as you get older. So that's why I make that recommendation to stay in touch. I know that it can be trendy to say, I'm going to be off all social media. I want to get offline. I want less screen time. And I do feel like we need to have more intentional screen-free time. I also feel like we need to keep in touch. We need to keep our finger on the pulse of what's happening in our society and in our culture in order to be able to remain self-sufficient and autonomous and independent. That's all I'm saying there. So ageism, let me know, how have you experienced it? If you've experienced it, what do you do to counter it and get around it? And how do you maintain your sense of confidence and relevance and impact when you're faced with it? I'd love to hear your thoughts on all of that. My name is Amy Palmer. I am your Gen X big sister. Please remember to like and subscribe to this channel. I'm trying to get the word out to as many of us as possible. But here I am, your Gen X big sister, signing out.